You're watching Tech Founder Journey, Episode 3. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 things I learned building a SaaS. It's been a couple months into my startup journey. I spent a lot of time building my product. What is it exactly? It's a SaaS that helps video creators to make better thumbnails and titles. I've been spending a lot of time building the SaaS, and I want to share with you the top 5 things that I think are super important. All right, lesson number 1, iterate fast, lightning fast. There's no secret, shipping fast correlates to the success of your product. It's almost a cliche to talk about it, but I think what I learned the most is to ship so fast that make me uncomfortable. I made a promise to myself at the end of last year. I wanted to make daily release from day one. So every day I ship something, and not just releasing. It was very important that everything that I release every day, the users are able to see or play around. So something tangible. So what I did was to separate all the stuff that I want to build into 2 piles. The first pile is something that I can build in a day. It could be a smaller feature, or styling or bug fix. Anything that I can ship in one day, I put it in the pile. And the second pile is the things that I can't build in one day. And this is the interesting part, because the definition of a release for me is something that has an impact on the users. So the users need to be able to see it. Instead of thinking, okay, I'm gonna break the feature down into, for example, front-end part, back-end, database, and integration of everything. The way I break down the feature is to think about progressions. So I will start with the version 0. It could be the bare minimum of the feature, and then slowly iterate daily into the final feature set that I want to present to the users. Every release, the users are able to see it or interact with it. And I find it a very useful and, to be honest, very interesting way to break down a huge task. Lesson number 2, define success. There's this notion lately that an MVP is just a crappy version of your product, so don't do it. And I totally disagree with it. I think if you only look at the value of the MVP as whether you make money or not, then of course making a crappy version of your final product probably doesn't help you. So I see building a software that people love as traveling through a map. You are not walking linearly, but instead you are looking for path that get you where you want to go. So to navigate through all the uncertainties, it's important to validate your assumptions fast, and building MVPs is the way to do that. For example, I built the first MVP in 2 weeks, and my definition of success for that iteration is to use it as a communication. I want to communicate my concept and see if there's traction, see if there's interest out there. And once I validated that, I went on and built the second iteration, the second MVP, to find out who are my customers and the pricing. You see, the iterations has nothing to do with whether it makes money or not. So define the success to your MVPs. Lesson number 3, interview target customers. I think this is the toughest lesson I learned. I spent a lot of time looking for beta customers. It's amazing how much insight you can get by just one interview. To be honest, I'm not very good at it. I wasn't great at follow-up questions. I wasn't great at guiding the conversations. I was able to see firsthand whether, the features that I'm building, would that make sense for them? What do I need to change? What do I need to add or completely get rid of? And the more I talk to customers, the more confidence I get. And I've had this sense of service that I just want to, make this happen and I can help someone. So I think as a founder, that's a very good feeling. And so talking to customers doesn't just make you aware what to build, but also give you a sense of purpose, sense of motivation. And I think that was the biggest takeaway for me the past 2 months. Lesson number 4, pitching. I also built a pitch deck. I wasn't trying to pitch. I use it as a form of documentation for me. Every time I talk to a user, my perspective changed. And having a document that I can read really keeps me in track. The pitch deck doesn't have to be complete. All I have is a problem, a solution, the market, and how I want to go to market. That's it. Simple. But it gives me so much clarity and the direction I want to go. So I definitely recommend having a pitch deck. Lesson number 5, consistency. I went pretty hard the past couple months, and it took a toll on me. There were times I felt drained and unmotivated. When I realized that I felt that way, I was like, why would I feel this way? What am I doing? This is my dream. I'm doing the things that I always want to be doing. I should feel good. I should feel amazing. The truth is, I forgot to take care of my body. I don't work out no more. I didn't eat right. I probably have a glass of wine too much, and I was approaching burnout. And because of that, my output decreased, and the quality of my thinking decreased as well. And this is not great. First of all, the feeling sucked. And most importantly, I wasn't keeping up the speed that I need for the startup. It reminded me something that my speed skating coach said to me once: don't go fast when you feel good. And all these years later, it's probably the most impactful startup advice I ever gotten. I went too hard when I felt good, but the race just begun. So I started working out, eating right, and take breaks to make sure that my body is right, my mind is right, and I can continue this journey for the years to come. And I feel great every day I wake up to my dream job. Even though I feel like my output every day is not as high as before, but because of the consistency, I was able to overcome that up and downs, and I feel good doing it. So consistency is definitely the key. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.